All right, get ready to dive into a world that's, well, let's just say it glows.
Oh, going for the literal approach today.
Well, we are talking about bioluminescence, fireflies, those deep-sea creatures everyone loves, even stuff inside our own bodies.
Starting to see where you're going with this. I'm intrigued. Go on.
We're taking a deep dive today into some fascinating stuff from cocktail party chemistry. Episode 149 to be exact.
Chemoluminescence in biology, cold light of life. Great episode.
See? You know what I'm talking about. And trust me, this stuff is packed with cocktail party-worthy facts.
It really is. Nature has this incredible way of, well, using light.
Right. It's not just for looks either. It's vital for, like, survival and communication in so many organisms.
Absolutely. But before we go too far, maybe we should clarify something for everyone.
Oh, good point. Bioluminescence versus chemiluminescence. It can get a bit confusing.
Yeah, chemiluminescence is basically any light made by a chemical reaction, like think glow sticks.
Oh, classic example.
Right. But bioluminescence is like the VIP section of chemiluminescence. It only happens in the living things.
So all those creatures we're talking about, they've got some serious chemistry going on to make that light show happen.
Exactly. And a perfect example is the firefly.
Ah, those summer nights with the twinkling lights. Magical.
And they use a special enzyme called luciferase.
Honestly, I never really thought about how they actually make that light.
It is pretty amazing when you break it down. So this molecule, luciferin, combines with oxygen.
Okay, basic ingredients so far.
Right, and then luciferase steps in, it speeds up the reaction, and boom, energy is released. But here's the cool part. It's not heat, it's light.
No burnt fireflies, got it. But speaking of heat, that brings us to cold light.
Yeah, one of the most fascinating things about bioluminescence, unlike, say, a light bulb, which gets super hot, bioluminescence makes light with barely any heat.
Super efficient.
Incredibly.
And I hear scientists are trying to, like, copy that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine light sources that don't waste energy as heat. It could change everything.
Totally. But you know what else is wild? We have our own kind of light show going on internally.
Now, you're not going to see yourself glowing in the dark or
Oh,
anything.
well, darn.
But it is happening on a microscopic level, of course. Our immune system actually uses chemiluminescence to fight infections.
Wait, really? How does that even work?
So picture these cells, phagocytes. They basically go around gobbling up bacteria.
Like little Pac-Mans.
Exactly. And during that process, they use chemiluminescence. It's kind of like a tiny signal flare, letting everyone know they're on the attack.
That's pretty awesome. So maybe we're not glowing like fireflies on the outside, but we've got our own internal defense system lighting things up.
Exactly. And that's just a tiny peek into the amazing world of bioluminescence.
It really is. And speaking of amazing worlds, we can't forget about the creatures in the deep sea, right? Using bioluminescence in ways that, well, just blow your mind.
Absolutely. That's where things get really interesting. Imagine a world of constant darkness where creatures have evolved to use light not just to survive, but to communicate and even camouflage themselves.
All right, now you've got my attention. Lead the way.
Let's dive in.
Right, so we're headed down into the deep sea where, the sun doesn't shine. What's it like for those creatures living in that darkness?
It's a pretty alien world, and bioluminescence, it's like their lifeline. It shapes how they interact, everything.
I bet. It's like a whole different set of rules down there, all about the flickers and flashes.
Exactly. And they use it in so many different ways. Like some creatures, they use it to, attract a mate.
Oh, right. Like an underwater dating app.
Haha, something like that. They'll flash specific patterns to signal, hey, I'm single and ready to mingle.
But I'm guessing it's not all romance and flashing lights. Bioluminescence can be, well, a little less friendly too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a powerful tool for hunting. Think about the anglerfish, for example.
Oh, those guys with the fishing rod things?
Exactly. They have this modified fin ray that dangles in front of their mouths, and it has a bioluminescent lure at the tip.
So in the pitch black, that lure is like irresistible to anything looking for a snack.
Right. It draws in smaller fish, and, well, the rest, dinner time.
Talk about a trap. But bioluminescence isn't always about attracting things, right? It can be used for defense, too.
Absolutely. Some deep-sea creatures, they use it to avoid becoming someone else's dinner.
Okay, how? I'm picturing like lightsabers or something.
Not quite, but almost as cool. Think of a squid releasing a cloud of glowing ink. Confuses the predator, gives the squid a chance to escape.
That is smart. And what about those shrimp, the ones that vomit bioluminescent fluid?
Oh yeah, they're pretty hardcore. They blind and disorient their attackers.
I would not want to mess with them. So what other strategies are there?
Well, some species use what's called counter-illumination. It's like camouflage, but with light. They'll emit light from their undersides to match the faint light coming from above.
Whoa, they basically disappear.
Exactly. It makes them almost invisible to predators looking up from below, like an invisibility cloak.
That's incredible. It's amazing how, well, evolution has come up with all these adaptations.
It really is, and honestly, we're still just scratching the surface of how bioluminescence is used in the deep sea. Every time scientists send a submersible down there, they discover something new.
Speaking of discoveries, I've been hearing a lot about how bioluminescence could inspire, like, all sorts of new technologies.
Oh, absolutely. Scientists and engineers are always looking to nature for inspiration, and bioluminescence offers so many possibilities.
Like what? What are some areas where, this natural light show could be useful?
Well, one that's really promising is medical imaging. Imagine being able to track cells or see how a disease is progressing, all in real time using bioluminescent proteins.
So no more, like, X-rays or other stuff that could be harmful.
Right, it would be much safer and more precise.
That's incredible. What other possibilities are there?
Well, think about using bioluminescent organisms to detect pollution in water. It could completely change how we monitor the environment.
It's like instead of needing all this complicated equipment, we could have these tiny glowing alarms telling us about dangers.
Exactly. And then there's the potential for, energy efficient lighting. Imagine cities lit by glowing trees or buildings that light themselves up naturally, all thanks to bioluminescent bacteria.
Now that's a future I get behind.
It may sound futuristic, but scientists are making progress in this area. It's a really exciting time to be studying bioluminescence.
It really is. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into this glowing world, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away?
I think the biggest takeaway is that bioluminescence isn't just a pretty light show. It's a testament to the power of evolution. It's essential for survival in some of the most extreme environments on Earth, and it's inspiring innovations that could shape our future.
Well said. It just goes to show that nature is full of surprises. And sometimes the most unexpected discoveries can lead to the most amazing breakthroughs.
Absolutely. Who knows what other secrets are out there waiting to be discovered?
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Fireflies, our own immune systems, those deep-sea creatures. But before we wrap things up, I've got one more question.
Go for it.
We talked about, scientists trying to copy that cold light thing and using bioluminescence for, like, new technology. But what does that actually look like? How would that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. The possibilities are pretty huge. I mean, one area that's really exciting is, well, new types of light sources.
Oh, right, you mentioned that earlier, like streetlights powered by trees.
Yeah, exactly. Or buildings that just light themselves up using bioluminescent bacteria.
I mean, it sounds like science fiction, but could that actually work?
It might sound crazy, but it's closer than you think. Scientists have already figured out how to engineer bacteria that make light, and they're working on putting those bacteria into, different materials like paint or plastic.
So you could, like, paint your house with glow-in-the-dark paint.
Exactly. No more electric lights needed.
That's pretty wild. What about those medical uses we talked about? Any progress there?
Oh yeah, lots of cool stuff happening. They're using bioluminescent proteins as like markers for medical imaging, so doctors can track cells or see how a disease is progressing in real time.
So no more X-rays or anything like that.
Right, it would be much safer, especially for people who need to be monitored a lot.
That's a gum changer. It sounds like bioluminescence could really, like, revolutionize medicine.
It really could, and it doesn't stop there. People are looking at it for, well, everything. Environmental monitoring, agriculture, even new materials with, like, special properties.
Wow, it's amazing to think that something as simple as a firefly's glow could lead to all these breakthroughs. It really makes you think about, well, the power's nature and how important it is to, keep exploring and asking questions.
Couldn't agree more. The natural world is full of amazing things just waiting to be discovered. And by studying them, who knows what we might find?
It's pretty inspiring, actually. So I guess the next time anyone listening is at a party, they can bring up bioluminescence.
Exactly. Those glowing creatures, what's happening inside our own bodies, and all the possibilities for the future.
And maybe someone listening will be the one to make the next big discovery.
You never know.
All right, well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the amazing world of bioluminescence. We've covered a lot, from fireflies to the ocean depths and everything in between.
It's been a fun journey.
It really has. And remember, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those brains buzzing. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.